Good evening, good afternoon, and wow, gosh, in the UK, I don't know, I think it's about 5 o'clock. I've got things to do later. This is Ben Chai, the Doctor Who of business. And every Tuesday, I do a broadcast or a photograph on property. So if you're interested in property and growing your own income stream, passive income stream through property, then you're in the right place. And if you're just interested in seeing my sexy face, you're still in the right place. But if not, then this broadcast is probably not for you. So today I wish to share a little bit about property education because a lot of people are losing money through being very badly advised. Now, I've been investing in property. For those of you who don't know me, I've been investing in property since the late 80s. And my team, my property team, over the last 2 years, they've acquired 47 between us properties and rented them out, or they're in the process of being renovated at the moment. So property, if you're interested in property, you're in the right place. Now, today, I just want to share a little bit about property education. I've spent myself probably over 100 grand in getting myself educated and keeping my own education up to date. So even though I've been investing in property for a long time, it's still good for me to keep abreast of the laws, which certainly in the UK, the laws change quite a bit. For example, stamp duties changed a bit. Property investors are being taxed more if they're having portfolios in their name. Just a whole bunch of things. So it's good to keep your education up to date. Now, there is good and bad education, and there are good and bad trainers. So really, when you're getting any kind of education, I'm always saying to people, do due diligence. Do due diligence. Find out about the company, find out about the speaker that will be sharing the education to you, or else you could get into big trouble. As an educator myself, I've been educating people in business and technology for several decades. And again, in those worlds, we had bad educators. I remember when I was teaching at a course and sharing some real stories about how to create proposals to win business. Some of the educators, I asked them whether they'd actually written a proposal and got 100 grand plus from the proposal. And it got into quite a heated argument because they said, well, you don't need to have done it to educate people. And probably you've seen from my previous broadcasts, I'm disgusted by that, really. I mean, I don't say that to them because there's no point in me getting into an argument with people, but inside I'm disgusted because I know when you've actually done it, when you've actually done and invested in property, you will perhaps have the similar thoughts on the education, but you can give people tips and real world examples of how to make it right in case of a disaster, which nobody, if they haven't done it, can tell you what to do. They can't tell you how to recover from a disaster because they've never been through it themselves. I was laughing at a friend, and I'm sad for them as well because they just had a disaster with a person. And they're just a lovely, lovely, lovely friend, one of my best friends. But, you know, he said, Ben, I've never been stitched up by anybody. So he's just been stitched up, and now he feels the anger inside, the wanting to rant about those people who've kind of, you know, scammed you out of a bit of money. So when you're in property education, you want to do due diligence on the company. Find out, for example, how many properties the property education company have acquired. Now, it may be that it's a global corporation such as Elite Legacy, where I've spent a lot of my money with. So the corporation itself may not have invested in property, but the trainers have done. And you don't want someone who teaches you who's just done one deal. I think, to be a proper educator, they need to have done at least 10 deals, And property is quite diverse. I've got an Instagram that I'm trying to create to show you 30 different ways to make money from property. So some of the property educations, if they're educators, if they've only done 10 deals, they've probably only been in one area, such as baby buy-to-lets. And they may be able to educate you if you're just starting out in baby buy-to-lets, but perhaps not in the sophistication of the laws in houses of multiple occupation or development if they've never done it themselves. So again, when you're getting education, find out from those people what exactly they've done. I remember someone wanting to coach us on creative finance. So that's how to get angel investors and so on. And that was our criteria. Now, by the time we got to speaking with the person that we'd been assigned to us, it was just so long that we'd worked it out ourselves. And we found out that actually had never raised much money from angel finance. He never managed the people, never managed their expectation, never given them their money back with extras, never got people to reinvest in them. So it was a stupid conversation. It would be like, yeah, he'd say, do this and this and this. And we'd say, okay, can you tell us some examples from your life? And he couldn't. It was, honestly, it was terrible. And in the end, he was asking us what we'd done because we'd already raised about 600,000 by the time we were having this time with it. Probably should get my money back. Never thought about that. Anyway, so you really want to do due diligence on the instructor teaching you. See how long they've been in property. See how many deals they've done. See which areas they've done their deals in before you get educated by them. And unfortunately, even with the company, so large companies like Elite Legacy, like some of the other large companies out there, they don't always have good vetting, or somebody has slipped through the vetting process and maybe they've only done 1 or 2 deals, and then they're on stage teaching you rubbish, really. So again, find out from the company, just say, okay, who's going to be teaching us? And if you change the person, just say that it's important that they have at least X number of years, they've done this number of deals. I would say to educate anybody in any area, you should have at least 5 years experience, really. I know people are saying, oh, you should go out and teach now. I don't think so, even if you are a good instructor. Now, recently I've been coming across quite a few people who are giving property education, and they have never done a deal. But they talk about how you can make millions in property, which is also rubbish. Of course, everybody can. It's a truism. You can make millions, but you can also lose millions. Like some of the people I've personally coached, lost a tremendous amount, and I've had to recover that money from them. So, guys, top 3 tips: do due diligence on the company, do due diligence on the trainer. And by due diligence, I mean find out how many deals they've done, find out whether they've actually made and achieved $1 million in property. I think that's a good bench line. Or just see whether they've made $1 million in property over time, and what area that they specialize in. And once you've got that information, then see whether it's something that you want to do. Now, you could get blanket information, but then you just need to go on an overall course than going to specific ones. Now, the other question I get is, which education should you get? Well, if you're a newbie, if you've never invested in property, I would say that you should start in small deals. And by newbie, I mean like you don't have a background in property at all. So your father isn't a builder, or your mother's not a sophisticated property investor. You have zero education in business and property. So start with the standard buy-to-lets, which is just buying a property and renting it out to family. That's the if you like, the first education you need. And the second one is in creative finance, if you don't have any money for deposits. I think you should do creative finance anyway, because you're at some stage, if you want to acquire and build yourself a portfolio, you will run out of money. Yes. So you really want to have a look at that. Unless of course, you come from a very rich family, in which case, call me up. Now, here's another interesting thing. If you have zero time, like zero time to create your own property portfolio, and it does take time, then I don't even know if education is best for you. You're probably best to work with someone like myself, and there are many of us out there who you can give a pot of money to and give your criteria. So you might say, look, Ben, I want you to acquire this many properties for me. This is how much money I have. Can we do a deal? And depending on your deposit, if you've got 5,000, probably not, then we may be able to do something. Now, over time with our investors, if they've wanted it, we actually, as a bonus to our investors, we've educated them over time in what we've done to acquire properties. So guys, I hope this has been useful to you in whether you should invest in property education or not. But the main thing is to do due diligence on the company. Don't just believe the branding about £1 million or £1 billion that you can make. It does take time and effort to build a portfolio. So this is Ben Chai, the Doctor of Business. If you've enjoyed the broadcast, please do write your comments below. Please do share it with your friends and family to help them understand a bit more on how they can create an extra income stream. Bye for now.